instead of you running around taking 5 weeks, my God, that'll be practically next year before it's done.
Well,
and it probably will be by the time we set the date on it.
If we did what we looked at, was it 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, I was delivering carts to everybody here. And the last carts that I dropped up at the hospital, I beat the snow by 2 weeks. And we started right around in October, I want to say. So, and that was touching every house here. So, again, we can go right back from the drawing board and go right back from the beginning, Mayor, when we talked with Steve in January. From the layout that we had, that we basically pulled one Saturday, individuals bring all their material to waste management, using an electric or a power bill to identify that they're a resident of the city. That gives a weight for each person that's here, that I can put in the system, that your power bill number and a name attached to the weight when you come across the scale and come back across the scale. The other piece of it that can be into there was that we would use, we looked at looking at a household hazardous waste, maybe talking, and bringing them in onto the area where they can get rid of paints, household chemicals, things on those lines. And then, again, if somebody wants to come and pick up electronics and white goods, they could be willing to pick that up, but they wouldn't be able to do it on the waste management side. If the city would want to put them on there, that'd be fine.
The guy I wanted to pick up the white goods, he's willing to run around for nothing to pick them up curbside. So you don't even have to mess with it.
Mayor, can I speak?
Okay.
I don't know if you've all had a chance to look at the city manager's notes, but I think from this discussion, not to interrupt you, Jim, I think you've done an excellent job and appreciate you coming tonight and taking the time to meet with Steve in advance. But I think from the discussion tonight, it would be, Steve's recommendation as well as my recommendation that we review the options and we don't push this through tonight. Obviously, there's a lot of things we need to work out and consider yet, and I don't know if you've all had a chance, but there was a brochure that he had provided me from the city of Bondurant where there is a company that would come in too, so we've not even researched that option, but he did note that in his manager note as well. And then he did also note the curbside pickup, option of $15 a fee for each pickup, with the cost not being a budgeted cost. He was looking at trying to recoup some of the costs if we do proceed, if the council would decide tonight to proceed with this Waste Amnesty Day yet this year, of assessing a $15 fee to the residents to recoup some of that cost. And he was anticipating around 75% of 2,500 residents for a total cost of recouping $28,125. So I think it's clear that there are a lot of options to consider yet, and that we've not thought this through thoroughly, and we still need to do some research. I would hope the council would.
Maybe we could do a spring cleanup instead, and when we do our budget, try to, at that time, decide how much.
I was thinking that, but let's put a deadline on it, like the second week of May. No further past the second week of May. That's like we talked to Steve earlier, about a spring cleanup, and yeah. Well, it's now, spring is kind of gone, and we still haven't got it done. So I think if we put a deadline on it, like the second week of May.
Well, I think we can do that at some point if we want to with the resolution. So yeah, I think right now if we're talking about, amnesty to me is free, and if we're going to charge residents $50 or $75,
no, how can you charge them? Because a guy's going to come up here and say, "Hey, I didn't have anything out there." How are you going to argue with that? One guy had a lot, one guy didn't have anything. How are you going to argue with that?
Or drive it to your neighbor's house.
That's right. Well, and we did discuss that, Jim. Just what you just said for option one, and there are different options, I think, and so I agree with Barb, because we talked the other day, the three of us in our meeting, because we really don't have it in our budget, and we become, towards spring, we'd have to amend the budget.
You know, there's a lot of what ifs out there.
Right.
That none of us can answer. And well, it's gonna be kinda hard to tell until things roll out. And again, that was one of my suggestions that I brought up is, let's see what comes to us first before we go to the a la carte picking up at the curb.
The thing is really important, though, is just as Denny said, that we do set a time and we do proceed and we do get it done. And that's what we want to, we want to do that. Like I say, it hasn't been done for a long time, and we appreciate all your time and efforts that you're putting into it. We want to do it for we want to do it the right way, the best way for the citizens of Independence. At the least amount of cost, but do the job right. And once we get back on track in doing this, of course, substantially savings.
Yeah, there was, through my first handout that I brought out, you know, there's some talk in there at the end when we were talking about the disposal and people bringing the things up. One of the things that we end up having problems with, even on residential pickups, and like I brought up before, everybody doesn't buy a refrigerator the same week during cleanup. Everybody doesn't go out and get new furniture the same time, but how do you dispose of it? And figure an on-call basis to where the customer would pay for his cleanup on a discounted rate for the city.
You know, that adage of every year it's gonna get cheaper didn't hold true with Winthrop. Cause the prior year to that, their bill was only $888.96. And then last year, it was $1,000.32. So the tonnage got a little bit more than it
Well, actually, the tonnage, what was it, did it even give you a tonnage rate on there?
did. $64 a ton.
And, this year was what, 66?
No, 64.
64?
When somebody brings something out to the facility and they bring a truckload, they get on the scale and they weigh it, and then when they dump it, they weigh it again. What's the cost for that?
$64 a ton.
It's, right at the rate, I think it's right at 64, something like that.
And if friends, I know when we talked about this, these people that said they're willing to come and pick up the white goods and stuff for nothing, and they need the certification or whatever, if a friend picks up stuff and brings it along with their stuff to have a whole truckload, they aren't required to have any kind of certification or anything because they're bringing it to you.
Right,
So there's not
it'd
any.
be like anybody, you know, the minimal tonnage right now is like $18.32 on an average pickup truckload. That's a minimum tonnage that comes across.
But isn't there a minimum fee though?
That's a minimum fee.
18.
It's not even a ton.
Right.
And basically what we would do is we take that total bill for the city for that day and accumulate it all. You know, each tonnage, you know, .13s, .05s, and that would be all totaled at the end of the bill.
Right.
But at the same point, if the city would want to, we could bring out that report of going out, each individual that brought it across. Say that there's 2 people combined with it. Just, we'd use your account name, number, and the 2 names to put it on the ticket. So, for information purposes, it could be printed out and sent, this is how many people participated.
So we're talking, when we're talking about all these charges, we're talking about the city, the citizen wouldn't pay anything.
Citizen wouldn't pay anything on
So
this.
we're talking
Just
meeting
disposal.
of it in our budget, because besides tonnage, I'm looking here, $25 for refrigerators and those kinds of things, that's on.
That's gone because.
This is
we
the
got
white
another
goods.
individual
Individual.
that picked 'em up for free.
This is the white goods he's referring to.
Oh,
The
Talking potential
refrigerators.
$15 a customer.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm on fixed income, I'll pay $15 any day.
Yeah.
For one,
Okay.
get rid of all the stuff I would accumulate during a year, absolutely.
just have it open on
No, it's
Saturdays. is
$15
what
an item.
No.
Yeah, it is, $15 for refrigerator.
No, it's not
Oh, wait.
$15 an item. It's $15 per customer.
Oh, okay, all right,
pick
you're
up.
right, you're right.
So I'll take back the fixed income part if I,
You know, like I said, there's a lot of different ways to skin this cat, and it's really what we wanna, what the council, and what the residents of Independence want. Really, what it is.
Maybe we just got a little over anxious because have been trying to, somebody's been trying to do this for quite a while now, and it just didn't seem to be making any headway.
Yeah, and you know, and that's, I laid this out in January
didn't hear anything about that from Steve. I
Was
wonder-
that around January?
Actually, Denny, when we, that was before Jim was here, when Mike was here and Daryl, it was discussed at that time, Amnesty Day, there was nothing other than, it was discussed, that's when we opened the contract with Waste Management again, and then Jim come on board. So it's been in the works for quite some time, it just never got to the point where it was gonna happen, and it didn't, and that's why I'm saying, people, we gotta make it happen.
I would like to know how come every time Gene or I mention it, it fell on deaf ears. We've talked about it before. Steve just,
Well, why don't we just set it up to where we develop a budgetary dollar amount, and we, if that works out, we put it in the budget as we figure it for next year, and, then we set the date after we get it in the budget.
So
Well,
we
we got
we can do it
what-
in May and not pay you until July and the new budget comes in effect?
I had mentioned that, it just depends on what kind of turnout that we had.
actually, you guys didn't bill Winthrop till this year for last year. It's on this bill. Okay.
They're gonna hate you in Winthrop, Denny.
Yeah, I do.